So you need to make money fast. A few years ago, I was desperate for money. I was broke, depressed, and my social skills were inexistent. I'm not even kidding you. I was way too scared to speak to strangers, so let alone make YouTube videos. But ever since I was a kid, I have always had a profound desire to be free. And I understood that in order to be free in this world, you need a lot of money. Having no money is the difference between being forced to work a soul-crushing job, to do all the gruesome things that no one wants to do because you have to, you don't have any other choice, and being able to travel the world, to pick your own schedule, to live a life of abundance, of true freedom, to not have to answer a boss who doesn't care about you, to put it simply, to live life on your own terms. So I set out to learn everything I could on making money, on generating wealth and building profitable businesses. I thought that surely, if I could discover the secrets of the wealthy, I could reclaim my freedom. Fast forward a couple years later, after a lot of failed attempts, after a lot of hard work, lots of sacrifices, and lots of perseverance, I've been able to build a profitable online business. And this, as you can see, is the type of life I've been able to build for myself so far. I've had to take the subway, but I've also been in a car worth over $300,000. I've slept in a basement infested with rats, and I've also stayed in the best hotels in Europe. My take is this: having money is amazing. It's not going to solve all of your problems. Like if you lost a close one, no amount of money in the world will ever change that. Only time can heal this type of wound. But I'm also going to be completely honest with you. If you have a lot of money, 99% of your problems will instantly disappear. I'm not even joking. Just think about most of the problems that you encounter in a day-to-day basis. Most of them could be fixed with money, couldn't they? That is why my goal with this video is to share with you exactly how you can start to make a huge amount of money and as fast as possible. If what I said just triggered you, click off this video right now. It's not meant for you. If you think that making $10,000 per month is impossible or that it's so much money, click off this video. It's not going to help you. Now, on the other hand, if you are an ambitious individual, you want more out of life, you know that you and your loved ones deserve the best, then continue to watch this video because it can truly change your life. I know it changed mine. Now, when it comes to making money, the first level is survival mode. That's when you're not making any money whatsoever or barely any money every month to keep paying your bills, your monthly expenses. That is the worst possible level to be at because life is very harsh to people who are in survival mode. At that level, the truth and the thing that will allow you to move forward is that you need to completely forget about most of what the so-called financial experts have told you. You shouldn't try to save as much money as you can so that you can invest in real estate or in the stock market. The truth is this: real estate is a full-time job. I mean, you can't expect to follow the advice of those clowns on the internet, to do it on the side a couple hours a week and become a multi-millionaire and be able to retire within just a few years. If it were that easy, more people would do it. And when it comes to investing in the stock market, over the course of decades, it will make you richer. It will increase your net worth. But again, it's not going to change the quality of your life in your day-to-day life. You'll wake up the next day, your life will be exactly the same. You'll wake up 2 years from now, 5 years from now, your life will be the same. Because for most people, let's face it, they can't afford to invest $100K, $300K, $1 million in the stock market or in real estate. So when you invest $100 a month in the stock market, it's gonna take you 60 years to start seeing a decent return on your investment. Not to mention that with inflation, the money that you'll have will be worth less than what it is today. So that kind of advice, invest in the stock market, in real estate, it's only truly applicable to people who already have money. And if you're watching this video, the truth is that you probably don't have $100 grand to invest, at least not right now. Now, you're honestly not going to like what I have to say, and it's going to be a blow to your ego. So if you're too sensitive to hear honest advice, life-changing advice that will actually make you extremely wealthy in the future, then click off this video. It is not going to help you. I'm not even kidding. The first step to making more money, to becoming wealthier, when you have nothing, you're at rock bottom, you can't even pay your bills, it's to get an entry-level job. If you need cash right now, it's your fastest option. Building a business is gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take at least months. So if you need money right now to pay your bills at the end of the month, you have no other choice but to get a level entry job. And I know you don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it either. No one dreams of working at McDonald's. No one dreams of working at the grocery store. Now, the ideal is that you'd want to take up a job like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, because with those jobs, you have a lot more flexibility, especially when it comes to your schedule compared to traditional jobs. And also, the more you do, the more you get paid. And it's also probably a lot more enjoyable than other types of jobs like working at the convenience store or working at McDonald's. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Of course, doing this will not make you rich, but that's exactly why it's only the first step in our journey, and we are not going to stop there, because at some point, if you want to be able to get to the next level of wealth, you need to stop trading your time for money. Warren Buffett said it extremely well: if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will always be poor. There is no other way around it. Now, level 2 is when you have one of those jobs. Maybe you work at Deliveroo for Uber Eats. You can afford to cover your basic monthly expenses, and you can even manage to save $100, let's say $300 per month. Like you're barely spending anything on hobbies, on leisure, on clothes, but at least you can save $100 to $300 per month. Now, like we've talked about, saving money will never make you rich. Let's say you have $100,000. Every single year, that money is worth less and less money. You can buy less and less stuff with it. And that's typically why wealthy people with a lot of cash invest in a lot of assets. They invest in real estate. They invest in the stock market, in other companies. Because if they don't, they will get poorer and poorer every single year because of inflation. However, if they do invest, they will benefit from inflation. So the stock market, real estate, things like that, it's really a tool that the wealthy uses to get even wealthier. But it's a very bad tool to make the average person into a wealthy person. Now, the reason why you want to save money is not just for the sake of saving money. Because if you listen to those clowns who say, oh, never buy a $5 Starbucks coffee, guess what? You'll always be poor. Because that kind of advice will never make you rich. You can't expect to have the attitude of penny pinching your whole life and becoming a multi-millionaire. It's not gonna happen. What you want to do instead is to save money to buy education, to learn high-income skills. High-income skills are skills that will make you a fortune. The reason why a brain surgeon is paid 1,000 times more than your average McDonald's employee is because their skills are harder to obtain, but most importantly, they are rare, so in high demand. Not to mention extremely valuable. So naturally, if you improve your skills, you will be paid more. You've got to realize that investing in your education is your ticket to freedom and to wealth. Because if I can tell you one thing, it's that if the poor and the middle class knew what the rich knew, then they would become just as wealthy too. I've personally spoken with everyday people, poor people, and very wealthy people, and every single time, the difference in ways of thinking is mind-blowing. Middle class people typically think that everything is expensive. They think they should save money, but they struggle to do it. But what they don't understand is that the rich play the game of life and of making money by following completely different rules, and that's why they're able to get drastically different outcomes. Now, there are two ways that you can use high-income skills. You can use them to get a high-paying job. The issue when you want to follow that path is that it's extremely difficult to get one of those jobs in the first place. The competition is fierce, ruthless. Everyone wants the top spots. Everyone wants to be a CEO or CFO or be one of the highest paid sales reps in the company. And to get those jobs in the first place, you would need a lot of qualifications, which can take you decades to earn. And even if we're optimistic, let's say you do get the job. You're now making 6 figures a year. You are a success. The thing is, you sacrificed decades of your life, your youth, the best years of your life, and now you're working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. Are you really free? Are you really enjoying life just because now you can afford to have a Benz instead of a Toyota? You're not more free, you just make more money. And let's not even talk about geographical freedom. You'd still need to be at the office from 9 to 5 or whatever the schedule is, and in reality, it's gonna be like more 80-hour work weeks. Now, the other path that you can use is to start your own business using the high-income skills that you've learned. So level 3 is when you start your own business. There are two big different types of businesses that you can start. A brick-and-mortar business, so this would be a gym, a hair salon, a restaurant, or an online business. Not too long ago, you could not start an online business. So really, business was just brick-and-mortar businesses. But nowadays, the arrival of the internet, and particularly of social media, changed the rules of the game forever. Now, I'll be honest, if you try to figure out everything on your own, the first couple businesses that you start will probably all turn out to be complete failures. But you know what? That's completely fine. Every entrepreneur has to master their craft, and it's not going to happen overnight. And as a beginner, you need to be especially careful about shiny object syndrome. The best advice I can give you is this. You want to focus on starting one business model, selling one product or one service, and serving one single niche, one specific type of customer. And you want to stick to that for months and for years. I've never seen someone do that for 2 years straight and not become extremely successful. The reason why most people don't get there is because they quit. It's not because they lack talent, intelligence, or because they don't speak English well enough. It's because they give up, because they stop believing in their vision. But when you give up, life just becomes tasteless because your dreams die with you. There's nothing worse than not accomplishing the thing that you were meant to accomplish. A lot of beginners fall for shiny object syndrome. They jump constantly from one business model to the next. They say they're going to start, let's say, a service-based online business, but then the next week on YouTube, they see some guy showing how he made $1 million in 24 hours with a BS dropshipping product. And so they look at that and they think, oh wow, this business model looks insane. Let me start a dropshipping business. But every single month, guess what? It's always the same freaking story. The next month, oh, crypto sounds nice. And the month after that, oh, what if I started an Amazon FBA business? And then 2 years have gone by, and those same people, they're like, wait, it's been 2 years. I'm not successful. So you're lying to me. You can't expect to jump constantly from one thing to the next and become successful, because you need to master that one business. You need to understand the ins and the outs. But that's not possible when every single month you decide to start another business, to do something completely different. Because I would say, fair enough, if you've been sticking to one business model for 2 years, you haven't made a single dollar, then yeah, obviously something is wrong. Either you're doing the wrong thing, which most of the time it's gonna be the case, or this business model just isn't for you and you can move on to the next one. Now I have to warn you, because I see a lot of beginners making the following rookie mistake. They set unrealistic goals. They say they're gonna go from $0 to 100K per month within just 6 months of starting their first business. So naturally, because they set such a gigantic goal, when they don't reach it, they're hella disappointed and they don't get why. The truth is, when you have no previous experience whatsoever, going from 0 to 100K profit in 6 months, it's almost unheard of, almost impossible. It is an anomaly. The people that you see making this kind of transformation, they did not start from nothing. They either had the skills, the right network, the right connections, or the necessary capital or work experience to get to that point as quickly. It's kind of like the concept of muscle memory. If it's your first time in the gym, you try to build some muscle, it's gonna take you longer than if you had been previously an intermediate and you had to stop training for a few years. Because with the phenomenon of muscle memory, when you stop lifting for a while, it's going to be a lot easier for you to regain all that lost muscle because your body remembers how to do it. Think about the first time that you drive a car. It feels strange, you don't even know what to do. But when you get in the car and you've driven for like 10,000 hours, now you know exactly what to do. You're close to being a master. The same is true with any business model. And don't be discouraged if your first businesses fail, because the skills that you learn working on those businesses, they will serve you to build the next business better. And at some point, you'll find the right business model for you and you will become successful. Now I have to issue a fair warning here, because there's another huge mistake that I see a lot of people making, unfortunately. And so without even realizing it, most beginners doom themselves to fail. They will never make a single cent in profit with an online business. And it's only because they have one single nasty belief that was put in their minds. Unfortunately, that belief is incorrect. A lot of beginners think that as long as they work hard, they can make any business model work. The harsh truth is that you have been lied to. Some businesses will require a lot of money to get started and they won't even be that profitable. So those businesses are not beginner friendly at all, while some other businesses are less known sometimes. However, they require less money to get started and profit margins are a lot higher. But because they don't sound as cool or as fancy, a lot of people don't talk about those businesses. Some business models, like e-commerce, like softwares, have the potential to make you millions, even billions of dollars. However, they would require a lot of startup capital to get started, so they're naturally made for beginners. However, some other business models will allow you to get to 6 figures a year, and all of that without having to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in the business and without any previous work experience or actual skills. That's why I've recorded a free guide in which I analyze every popular online business model. Together we take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers as quickly as possible. It's the first link in the description below. Now with that said, what are you waiting for? It's time to get to work.